I do. I don't get a whole lot of advanced players or pro players. I mean, I can give lessons to just about anybody.
Mhm.
For most for pro players or semi-pro players, it's going to be more of a coaching. Just kind of watching them and seeing if they're doing, because everybody, gets into bad habits.
Yeah.
And as an instructor, it's my job to know the fundamentals
Right.
and to watch for certain things. I can even see some of the best pro players. There's a guy, Francisco Bustamante, and he's from the Philippines, and he is one of the best players in the world. He has some of the most unorthodox things that he
I think I
does.
saw him play.
Yeah, he has like when he goes and he has his hand and wrist like this. That's really not a good thing. And then he does this whole, very loosey goosey stroke. It's just so weird,
Yeah.
and it's so off of the fundamentals. But
Yeah.
he learned from a kid how to do that. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So, all right, let's get started. You want to just hit some balls, and I can just kind of get an idea
Yeah,
of
sure.
where you are. Don't worry about how bad you might look or missing balls or anything like that. Just
Okay.
got two sticks there on the wall you can use. You can use either one. Okay. This one is a wooden stick. It's a little bit more used, I guess. It's a little rougher. This is a very smooth shaft, but sometimes it won't slide through your hand real well. Unless you wear a glove. This one might slide through your hand a little bit better. So I do have a glove if you'd like to use it. I recommend if you're going to play pool more than just super casual, that you might want to consider getting a glove.
Okay.
Especially if you're doing league
And
and
it's
stuff.
going to be like with a stick.
Yeah. You're right-handed?
I am right-handed.
Yeah, that glove will work on your left hand, so you're welcome to use it if you'd like.
So I'm just going to hit any ball.
Just hit some balls and look for the stuff that I'm looking for. There you go, nice shot on the eight. So when do you think is the last time you actually shot?
A few years ago.
Yeah.
So, should I just keep going or?
No, let's start getting into it because I think I've seen some things that we can
Okay, sure.
work on right away and understand that some of the things I show you might feel a little weird. Just I know it feels weird because if I try to get down and shoot, I know it kind of it might feel a little bit strange, but hopefully you'll see the benefits of the things that I show you, and you can practice doing those things on your own. I want to give you things that I can kind of the building blocks, and then you can take it, keep practicing it.
Okay.
So let's talk about the fundamentals. Okay. So there's a number of fundamentals. There's your stance, which is kind of how you address the ball. If you think that you're talking about golf, right?
Yeah.
You don't just go up there and just swing it. You've seen, they talk about it, addressing the ball, getting in exactly the right position. Same thing with pool. Okay. I notice when you walk up, you just kind of, your feet are kind of together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let me see your, go down and let me see your bridge. So we'll work on that as well. It's not too bad. This is, so we'll work a little bit on, a little bit better, a little bit more secure bridge, but you put your bridge down. When you're walking up, what you want to do is you want to be in the line of the aim. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the line, we'll talk about the aim, how to aim your shot. There's a lot of different ways. There's a beginner way, there's more advanced ways. Of course, we'll talk about beginner ways. Just so that you kind of understand how the physics of the game works. So let's start with your stance. When you go, let's just come up to the edge here. So let's say you're going to shoot this light ball. So when you go to address this, what you want is you want a nice comfortable stance with your legs apart. And you notice I'm about 45-degree angle from the line of aim. So the line of aim that way, I'm not like this, I'm not like this. I'm halfway between those. About 45 degrees. Some people, what we'll do is we'll figure out what's most comfortable for you. Right? Some people are actually very comfortable shooting a wide stance, we call it wide stance, or a narrow stance, which is a lot more closed like this. But this is kind of the standard way that we teach. Right there. You'll notice that my back foot doesn't have to be any specific part of the foot, but pretty much the ball of your foot here is going to be in line with the shot, right? Your cue stick is going to also be on that line. So you obviously can't be in line with the stick. You have to be off to the side. The things that we want in line is our foot. We want our arm to be straight up and down, okay? So when I'm on the ball, you notice my back arm is straight up and down. So the stick, my arm, my shoulder, and my foot. Those are all on the line of the shot. Okay. The other foot is just out to the side somewhere. In a comfortable stance, you don't want to be doing this, okay? You don't want to do this. Just comfortable. If you are standing here ready to shoot, okay, come over and push my shoulder. Try not to move. Push my shoulder. You notice how secure I am? Yeah. That's what you want, right? If I'm on, something like this, and I'm a little bit bending over, now push my shoulder. See how easy it is to knock me over? We want something that's comfortable, something you can stand here for a minute and not feel like I'm cramping up, So, all right, let's give that a try. So the first thing you want to do is step back here. First thing you want to do is you want to line up. Now this is a really easy one to line up. You don't have to worry about aim because you're going to aim straight at that number. Right up the middle. So you can see the line coming on. It's right here. So come over here. See the line. Step into it with your right foot just on that line. There you go. Now your right foot's over a little bit. The line is like right here. There you go. You might need to step a little bit closer. You want to be in a good position away from the ball. So how does that feel? Okay. So your back arm, you want your elbow to be perpendicular, just like that. Your shoulder, just like it is now, right over the line. That's good. That's good. So just take a few practice strokes, nice and easy. Relax. There you go. Does it feel comfortable? Does it feel a little off? Or okay. All right. So we'll worry about actually addressing the ball and.
Is it too narrow, or should I go?
Well, like I said, whatever you feel comfortable with. Your back foot does not have to be planted on the ground. If you feel like you're a little too far away, move your foot up a little bit so you can get a little closer to the ball. And then your left foot is just kind of out of the way. It doesn't have to be exactly 45 degrees. It's just off to the side. Because what you really care about is your eye line, what we call the vision center. So for some people that might be, they might, like they're aiming a gun, under one eye. For other people, their vision center is center of their vision. We don't have to worry about that too much. Just your eyes exactly over the line of the ball. So your eyes, your shoulder, your arm, your stick, all on that line. That's really good. That looks good.
Should I go for it?
Sure. Why not? But what that part of the fundamentals is the stroke. I'm not too worried about that right now, but we will address it. But that was good. You're lined up, and after every shot, everything is reset.
Mhm.
We're not going to really go over it too much, but that's part of your pre-shot routine.
Mm.
The pre-shot routine is really for somebody who's so good, is starting to get good at this game, is making ball after ball after ball after ball, and you just every shot you do exactly the same thing every single time. It helps reinforce good habits,
Yeah.
and it helps you to get in the zone as you're not even thinking about it anymore. Right now, you're learning how to drive the car.
Yeah.
You have no idea what you're doing. You're looking at, I'm trying to tell you, look in the mirrors, adjust them, put your seatbelt on, trying to teach you how to use the pedals and how to steer, but do micro steers, and you're just like, it's all coming at you. But now you know how to drive a car, and you probably weren't thinking about any of those things as you were driving over here, right? You're just worried about the directions,
Yeah.
right? So that's the whole idea behind the pre-shot routine and learning all these fundamentals. I'm trying to teach you all the little adjusting the mirrors and everything. Eventually that'll just come second nature. Okay. So when you go up to address the ball, what you really want is you want your bridge to be about 8 inches away from the ball.
Okay.
So right around here,
Yeah.
right? You can be a little closer, that's fine.
Yeah.
Especially if you're doing a soft shot. Sometimes you do a nice little, or if you're breaking the balls or you just need a lot of power, you might come back a little farther. You might use a closed bridge or an open bridge. And even with a lot of power, I'm no more than about a foot away from the ball. So you don't want to be back here and then kind of like leaning, trying to get closer or whatever. So you go down to address the ball, get into a comfortable position.
Yeah.
So that you're about 8 to 10 inches away, and you're the center of your, you're right over the top of your center of gravity. You're not leaning forward, you're not leaning way back, right? It's that comfort level so that you can't be knocked over.
So this part, so I've seen you do it with an open and close. So what's it's just preference for people, or?
It is. I have recommendations on which bridge you should use, and you should be able to use both of them, and we'll go over that.
Okay.
Okay. All right, go ahead. There you go. Nice. Yep, reset after every shot. And when you're addressing the ball, try to address it directly from behind it. So you don't want to do this. You don't want to go, okay, well, I want to cue ball into the 10, and I kind of get down over here and go into the shot. You don't want to do that. You want to be very clear where you're going to be, step right into that shot. You see that?
Okay.
There you go. Try to get it a little bit softer.
Softer?
Yeah, just relax. The cue has a certain weight to it. Feel that weight and just let the weight do the work. Nice. That was really good. Okay. We'll go over stroke in just a minute. Stroke and aim. And everything will start to kind of come together. Right now I just address the ball. That's one thing you're going to have to do is move around the table, right? Don't be afraid to get right up on top of that table. Wherever you need to be comfortable. Good. remember, you don't want to plant your foot and then lean into the shot. You're going to start to get to, after you've done this a few times, there's a term that I use that a lot of pool players use, a lot of instructors use, right there. Hit 1,000,000 balls. What's the best way to practice? Hit 1,000,000 balls.
Yeah.
You're going to do this over and over and over again. So after a while, you're going to get used to, well, come over here and stand right here. Without even getting down to shoot the shot, do you feel like you're too close or too far away to the cue ball?
Too far.
You feel like you're too far away?
Too close.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if I'm up here like this, my stance is going to be right. If I'm here like this, I'm too far away.
Yeah.
Right. You can see that. So I'm going to get to a point, and it's just going to feel about right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm standing up, I'm just like, okay, this is where I need to be. If you're holding your stick approximately where you're going to be shooting, and you can just put the tip right there, you're pretty much in a good spot.
Okay.
Right. And you can just, at that point, put your foot, make sure your foot is there, and then you just get down to the shot. And if you're too close, it's okay. Just stand up, shuffle back a little bit, and then get back down. Too far away, scooch up a little bit. So, if you are too far away, don't put your foot down, lean into the shot. Get back up, scoot in a little bit, and then readdress the ball. There you go. The aim factor is probably not going to be too hard to teach you because it looks like you might have it down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Once we fix your stroke, and there's a couple of things we need to work on.
Yeah.
I think you're going to be knocking balls in easy. So.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I haven't been like super confident about. Even just playing casually, it's like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like.
Sure. Once I share these fundamentals with you and you get started with them, it's going to just start. See how you just look at it at an angle, and you still manage to figure out how to put that in. So. Like you have a natural affinity for this. I'm going to give you a slight angle in the other direction and see what you do with it. Go ahead. Gotcha. We'll definitely fix that. I think we've got the stance part of it down. I'll correct you and help you with that as we're going along, but let's move on to the next part. Okay. So the next part we're going to address is your back arm. Your back arm and your grip. We'll worry about your bridge here in a bit. So go ahead and get down and address the ball, and we'll fix a couple things. Okay. So, no, go ahead. Stay down. Stay down. So, what we want to do, a couple things. First thing we want to do is we want to make sure that your elbow is definitely above the stick. That's good. Your back arm, when you're down on the ball and the tip is right up against the ball, so the tip is right there.
Yeah.
Right at that point, your back arm should be straight up and down. Think of your arm as a pendulum.
Yeah.
Right? It swings in an arc like this.
Yeah.
The moment it hits the cue ball, which is pretty much right at this spot, you're at the bottom of the pendulum, right? In the middle of the stroke. So when you do your practice, you're going to be doing this, the first half of the swing. And then you're just going to follow through. Yeah. Okay? So that's why it needs to be straight up and down. So when you're addressing the ball, you don't want your back arm to be back like this. So if I'm going to address the cue ball here, what I don't want is for it to be back here. See how my back arm is back?
Yeah.
I want it to be At this point, it's going
The
to
point of contact.
have contact. I want it to be straight up and down. So what's going to happen is, first part of the stroke is back here, last part of the stroke is up here. So my arm is doing a pendulum swing. See that? And at the bottom of the swing, that's when I contact the ball. Make sense?
So, pre-shot, does that include, like, because I'm sure, like, you've done it so many times that you kind of know where you would hit, but I guess for me, it would be practice, so.
It just, you're going to do it by feel. You don't want to look back at your arm to see if it's straight up and down. You can tell. You can feel that it's hanging down.
What kind of contact should my arm should be like this?
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, so there's a second part of this. So, address this again. Go ahead. Feel comfortable. I'm going to push you, okay? So just hold yourself up. It's good. You're good and stable. So the second part of this, your practice strokes, first of all, you don't want them to be like this. Yeah. You want to go all the way up to almost touching the ball. Okay? So what it's really, most practice strokes are going to look like, especially if you've done this a lot, you're just going to put it right on the ball, and you're just going to feel the aim. It doesn't feel right, you get back up just a little bit, get back down, feel the aim. Okay? Then once you're there, then take a couple practice strokes. All the way back to the ball. All the way back to the ball. Right? And then, when you're just about ready to hit, you might do a little, and then boom. So, nice. You don't have to do it exactly like that, but you'll probably eventually get to that point where you're doing that. Because you want to, when we put everything together, one of the things you're going to want to do is you want to make sure your aim is right. So if you come down here, look from behind me so you can see the aim. I come down here like this, no amount of practice strokes is going to put that ball in the pocket because I'm not aimed correctly. Okay. If I hit that right now, it's going to, I can just see that just by looking at it like this. It doesn't feel right. I'm asking myself, do I have the green light? And my subconscious is telling me, you've hit 1,000,000 balls, you know how to make this. This is not right. So I get back on the line. Oh, there's the line. I get down. I'm like, ding, this is perfect. I know I can make this. Right in the center of the pocket, right? So there, I fixed the aim. Now, I also know how hard I want to hit it, right? Maybe I want to draw it all the way back and hit the rail and come out. So I want to hit it pretty hard and I want to hit it low. So I'll be low on the ball, thinking about how hard I'm going to be stroking through the ball. And take a couple practice strokes. Once you've got all the fundamentals down in your practice, you'll get there probably pretty quickly. So, let's not worry too much about the pre-shot routine because pre-shot routine is going to incorporate all of the stuff that I show you. The pre-shot routine is fixing the mirrors, putting on your seatbelt. You know, if you do that every single time, you don't think about it. You just do it naturally. And those are safety things, right? You gotta have your seatbelt on. You gotta be able to see in your mirrors. Your seat needs to be adjusted properly. If somebody else has been driving your car, maybe the steering wheel's in the wrong position. All of that, right? You just know. You get in the car, you're like, ah, something's wrong. I'm gonna scoot the seat up. Yeah. But it's all natural. It's all. So that's the pre-shot routine. Is what we're doing. It's the getting the stance. It's kind of doing a self-assessment. It's chalking up your tip. You know, it's all of that stuff. So speaking of chalk, we should at least get the chalk on your tip on a regular basis.
Do you do it every time?
Yes and no. Chalking your tip does not necessarily mean applying chalk to the tip. It means looking at the tip, determining whether or not chalk is needed. If there is, brushing it on in that spot. So if I look at my stick here, You see, it doesn't look like an even blue. You can see some dark spots. That's where there's no chalk. See how I put chalk on? Dark. Okay. So I'm not screwing chalk on there. You know, like you see some people do.
Yeah.
It's always a very deliberate thing. Now look at the tip. Look how it looks now. See that? Evenly covered all the way around. So chalking the tip is to pick up my chalk. Part of my routine of looking at the shot. I look at my tip. Oh, there's a little tiny spot right there. I'm good. Put the chalk down and get ready for the shot. So that's what I mean when I say yes, yes, but no. I look at my tip. I always want to fix my tip every single time, but it doesn't necessarily mean I'm applying. Yeah, go ahead. If you're right-handed, it might be easier to switch this over. And then lean this stick into the light. And you can use, you're not going to use the center of this to kind of, you're just going to use the edge. I'm taking a crayon tip, just okay, so the other part we're going to address is the grip.
Yeah.
The grip on the stick. So go ahead and get down to shoot the shot. Right position, your arm's in the right spot. Okay, does that aim feel good? If it doesn't, get up and adjust it. Okay, so grip. We're not going to grip with our entire hand. Are you okay? Or you were? Loosen up these 3 fingers. Just use these 2. We don't want air gap. So we're not doing this. Okay, we're not doing this. This is good. You don't want a death grip on it. Okay? And here's the reason for this. I'll show you. I told you that your arm is pendulum if you're swinging. But you want the stick to remain in a straight line. So how does that work? Right? Well, if I'm gripping, I cannot maintain this without bending my wrist. Right? I can't. If I'm swinging in a pendulum, see my wrist is moving?
Yeah.
Now, our muscles are not like some animals, like birds and stuff. We can't do very precise movements. We have all these muscles and tendons and everything. So when we move one muscle, you can see everything moves around, right? It's very complex. So if I'm moving my wrist, that means my arm is moving, my hand is moving in different directions, which means my stick is not staying in a perfectly straight line. However, if I do this, now I have freedom of movement of my stick, right? The joint between the stick and my hand is free to move. And I'm not moving my wrist, see that? Perfectly straight. So now, if I do this, I can swing my arm and I can lock my wrist, right? And now I can, because I'm locking my wrist, the only movement is between my fingers and the stick. And the stick is not doing any of this jerky motion back and forth this way. I can keep it in a nice straight line. And that's one of the reasons why we keep this whole thing in a straight line. As long as we do that, everything's happening in the same plane. All right? You can see my stick does not have any motion except back and forth. Okay? That's the reason behind it. So now you can, eventually you might adjust. I actually use these 2 fingers. Everything else just kind of rests a little bit, but they kind of give way. It's a little more comfortable for me. Some players do it that way. Some players do it this. Some people actually do shoot like this. They've learned to shoot that way. But I suggest we start with this, and then if it, yeah, we give all of that a try, and let's take a couple shots. Remember, to keep everything straight up and down. You don't want to be like this, because that also kind of adds some sideways motion. And the other fingers that are not gripping the cue, just relax. You don't have to stick them out like this. Just nice and relax. When you're shooting these shots, especially if it's at an angle like this, don't try to put any more angle on it. Just get on the right angle to shoot it, and always follow straight through the cue ball, straight through.
Okay.
That ball will do what it can't break the laws of physics. Okay, so ready to add something else to our repertoire? Okay, let's talk about the bridge.
Yeah.
I recommend to most players they learn the open bridge and that you use that more than anything else. So there's two types of bridges. One is an open bridge, and what you want is you want a single point. Now you notice when I do a bridge, see how it's a V? It's not a U because there's, see how that can move? With a V, it's locked in the notch. See that?
Yeah.
So that's what we want. I can show you how to make that bridge. So we use an open bridge, and it's good for a couple of reasons. One, it's not that hard to do. It allows you to get really low with the ball, and you can see the entire shaft, right? You're not hiding it.
Oh, right.
Right? You can see the whole shaft, so it's a little bit easier to aim with an open bridge. The advantage of a closed bridge is that there are times that you want to actually impart some spin on the ball, okay? And even as a beginner player, there might be times you're going to do it. Most of the spin you're going to put on is going to be either low or high. We'll use English down the road, right? That's left-hander, or that's spin, right? You've seen that before where, see how the ball's spinning because I hit it on the right side. So we're not going to worry about that. But you might want to draw the cue ball back. You know what draw is? Okay. Draw is backspin.
Yeah.
It makes the cue ball come back.
Okay.
That's a draw shot.
Okay.
The opposite of that is a follow shot. That's where you hit high, and when the cue ball hits that ball that has forward spin, kind of peels out like a tire, right?
Oh, okay.
Backspin's the same way, it's just coming backward.
Okay.
So if I hit low, use a stripe so you can see the spin. So watch the stripe of this ball.
Yeah.
When I hit low, spins backward. When it hits that ball, it stops, but the backspin kind of like peel out of a tire on a car and makes you come back.
Okay.
Make sense? Yeah. So if you have to put spin on the ball, you're not hitting dead center. You're hitting at an angle. Right? The problem with that is if you go too far, it slips.
Yeah.
Right? If it slips, it's called a miscue. This is what a miscue is. I'm sure you probably see those a lot, especially playing with your friends, because amateur players tend to miscue a lot more because they don't know. First of all, the chalk is going to prevent that. The chalk is designed to add grip, right? And it's one of the reasons why you want to make sure when you're chalking the edges of the stick, because that's the part when you hit a draw shot, a follow shot. See what part of the stick actually hits the ball?
Yeah.
It's not the face of it. It's the edge of it, right? So what happens is when you miscue, it hits and bounces up. The cue stick bounces out of the way, right? If you're on the side, it bounces to the right or to the left. And if you hit too low, you scoop the ball, and that's a foul. Okay. to help prevent that, to discourage the cue, it doesn't always prevent it, but to discourage the cue from doing that, we use a closed bridge. Go ahead and come over here and try to move my tip to the left, no, to my tip, yeah, move my tip. You see how it's, yeah, my closed bridge is going to prevent that. It's not going to prevent it completely because you saw you can move it,
Yeah.
right? But it's going to be less likely to move. So when I hit to the side,
Okay.
Okay.
So it gives it more like
stability.
Precise stability,
Mhm.
like shot.
Exactly. Now, if I've been playing for a really long time, I can certainly do a draw shot, which is hitting low, using an open bridge. But you got to be pretty precise. Using a closed bridge is good. Now, I'm telling you, 90% of your shots are going to be center ball shot being no English, right? No backspin, no forward spin. It's center of the ball.
Yeah.
And so an open bridge is just fine, right? You don't even need a bridge if you're doing that. If you're doing that, there's no chance of you miscuing, right?
Yeah.
But obviously the bridge makes it a lot easier to shoot. So the open bridge, let's do an open bridge. Just like aim towards the pocket. Get down on the ball and aim towards the pocket. That's all right, that's all right. All right. So what we want to do in an open bridge is there's so many different ways that we can do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try the simplest. Put your hand, don't worry about it. Your hand on the table, okay. So what I want you to do is I want you to just kind of bring your knuckles up. Just your knuckles. Yeah, that's good. Keep your fingers straight. Now take your thumb, put it right up there. What you want to do, put it down a little bit, and then kind of pop your thumb out this way. See that V there?
Yeah.
Now, it's not going to be easy to put the V this way.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot easier to put it this way. How do we do that? Turn your hand.
Oh God.
Okay. So you'll notice when I'm going down, shoot, my hand is coming in from the side. It's not. I'm not doing this. Right. I can, if I really had to, if I was avoiding a ball like over here, then I might do a little more straight. But I might just drop it back here, do a little bit longer bridge. But I want to make it comfortable. That V, I want that V to be perpendicular to my shot. And I can do that like that. So the other thing I want to show you is, go ahead and put that hand back down. So we're going to do a couple of things. So first we're going to turn your hand this way. And then we're going to tilt your hand that way a little bit. Spread your fingers out. Now, it's hard to spread your fingers out this way. It's really easy to do it this way, right? Bring your hand sideways. So that's what you're going to do. Now, look at what happened to your little V here. Put this down here. Kind of pop it out a little bit. And your V right there, that's what you're going to use as your open bridge. Okay? Sometimes you can take these fingers and curl them under. Sometimes you might see I put my middle finger under. Just because what you're trying to do is you're trying to create a little tripod.
Yeah.
If you can make a tripod, a triangle, that's the most stability. Now you're doing it right now with your fingers in the palm of your hand. Okay? But I usually recommend that you don't put weight in the palm of your hand when you're shooting. My recommendation is to keep your hand somewhat loose. Right? So if you kind of spread your fingers, or maybe even put a finger under here as your tripod, then you don't even have to worry about the palm.
Yeah.
Right? Do what comes natural. If you like having the palm now, that's great, but you don't want to be leaning on it. You'll see a lot of people shoot like that. They shoot like they're like leaning on the table like this, right? Don't do that. If you put all of this stuff together, you get down and you're comfortable, you have a good bridge, you have a good grip, good stance, you should be able to stand there for 30 seconds without getting tired. And I should be able to come up and pick your hand up off the table and you won't move.
Yeah.
Right? If you are getting down in the shot, try to lift my hand. So just grab my hand and my wrist. Yeah, see, I'm off balance. But if I get on the shot, okay, lift my hand up. Not a problem, right? it's there, it's keeping me stable,
Yeah.
but I can lift it up. I'm not putting my weight on the hand because I want that hand to focus on the bridge alone.
Yeah.
Try a couple shots, put all that together.
Okay. What is this? The grip? Is it the grip or?
That's your grip. This is your bridge.
This is my bridge. Okay. Yeah, the bridge is gonna be the hard part.
It'll take some getting used to. Let's focus on the bridge. Okay. So what you want to do is you basically, what I do when I'm doing my bridge, I actually, if I'm doing it closed, I've got my stick in my closed bridge already.
Yeah.
All I have to do is put my fingers in.
Yeah.
If I'm doing an open bridge, I will actually stand there and watch professional players. If you ever get on YouTube and watch them,
Yeah.
they'll actually have their finger just like this. These two fingers are already in position. And they might practice a little bit just to kind of get a feel. And then you just come down. You're at an angle so that this V is right there.
Yeah.
Right? It's perpendicular to my shot. So that's it. So I'm just going to place that on the table like that with my hand a little bit tilted so that my fingers can spread out this way.
Mm-hmm.
But since I have my stick in it already, that way when I'm getting on the line of the shot, I'm putting my bridge exactly in the place that it needs to be for my shot, right? So I'm not doing this and then adjusting. If I have it all together, I just take the whole thing down together. I'm already lined up for the aim. Now I can just adjust my tripod however I want to do it. Okay? Now your back arm, look how far back your back arm is. That's bang. Like you're trying to.
Trick shot. This is the hard part.
Yeah.
For me.
It's tricky because we keep adding new tricks to everything. So now, you don't want to chicken run this thing out too far. You don't have to do that. Go ahead and get that one on put your bridge. Now, you want to go ahead and stand up. Remember to look at the aim of your shot, the line of your shot.
Yeah.
Okay, right now we're giving you easy. We're not really working on our aim right now, but I'm giving you straight in shots. So that you know the line. You want that cue stick to be on that line. Which means you want the V to be on that line.
Mm-hmm.
Put them together. Look at the line and bring it down. If you have the bridge on the rail, that's okay. Okay? But just to make it a little easier for you, let's keep it on the table. So look at that line. Line up to it. Put that V, everything right on the line. There you go. Does that feel a little better? Just the two fingers. Remember, just kind of loose. You don't have to stick them out. Just it almost looks like you have a grip, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you don't. See. Nice. Look at that. You're naturally drawing too. Not that you're trying to hit it low or do draw, but the fact that draw is happening means you're actually following through on the shot, which is what you're supposed to be doing. So that's good. Now remember, if you feel like you're too far away, don't lean in. Stand up, scoot in a little bit, and get back. That's good. Something I'd like you to try to do this for the next shots. Do the same thing you've been doing, but when you actually get ready to shoot, I want you to pause. Okay, so I want you to figure out the aim, take your practice strokes. When you're ready to shoot, bring it back. Think of a pinball machine, right? You're not yanking it and letting go. Pull it back and then let go. Pull back, deliver. Okay? Your delivery should be very deliberate, very straight, right? Should be focused on that. Focus on the delivery. Follow through. Okay? Now, do you feel too far away? I'm just asking you. You know, how you feel is, I could feel that you were kind of leaning into the shot. Remember the last part that I said. Make sure that you pause. Your backstroke for the actual shot, your backstroke and follow through should be very slow and deliberate. Okay? You don't want to do that.
Yeah. Okay.
You look like you're putting a lot of weight on your front foot.
That is true.
How does that feel? Better?
Yeah.
Okay. And remember, slowly back and deliver. Nice. Good. Don't do that until you're actually ready to shoot. So take your time, line it up. There you go. I like how you went straight down onto the line. That was good. Now, does that feel like you're gonna make it? Just ask yourself, does it feel like I'm gonna make this fall?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's good. Then now remember that the contact point is where your back arm should be up and down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I guess I'm at this point. Is this where I adjust?
Yeah, and what you're usually gonna do is you can actually we do the pros do is they do what's called the slip grip.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's a lot easier with a closed bridge. With a closed bridge, I can move my hand all over the place. Right?
Yeah.
But with an open bridge, you kind of have to let it slip. So we're not doing this.
Yeah.
What we're doing is just kind of like letting it slide back.
Got it.
But you'll kind of get a feel for it. The cue should really be just loosen your hand and be able to slip around, right? I can do a short one. See how I can do a long one. I can move the cue around without really, because it's slipping.
Yeah.
Until I'm ready to deliver, then I've got my grip, and then I'm ready. Okay? Just kind of make little micro adjustments until it all feels right, all feels put together. At the moment of contact, you're straight up and down, get back a little bit. So you might want to slip it forward a little bit. Good, you're following through, but you don't need to poke it so hard. So remember what I said, let the cue do most of the work. Don't forget to jump. Good, you have to do that. Stand up. Readjust the ball. Down on the aim. Adjust your back arm. Not the other way. Remember, put the tip right up next to it. Feel your back arm. Feel like it's back or forward? Without looking. Back. Yeah. You want to just try to scooch it up a little bit. Just slip it forward. You can kind of pull the cue ball back a little bit, or the cue stick, and then kind of jerk your hand forward.
Yeah.
Be that slip. Okay. So now that you've done all that assessment, now look at the shot. You feel it. Take a couple practice strokes. Back. Nice delivery. Not bad. Noticing that on your delivery, you're tending to swerve your stick.
Oh yeah.
What you want to do is remember that pendulum, right? there's a really good practice that you can do. You do this with a beer bottle, half wine bottle, whatever. Okay, so go ahead and get down like you're shooting the ball, right in front of the ball.
Right.
Part of the hole of the ball. Contact point is right there. Scoot up, get up, scoot up. So, back arm is a little bit too far forward. So, what you want to do is you want to stroke like you're not that far, just like you're just doing a normal stroke. It's going to go about 3 inches in. Get right up on it. Then just take small strokes, small strokes. What that does, what this training does, is it helps to train you to deliver the cue stick in a straight manner. If you keep doing it the way that you were doing there, what you end up doing, you start hitting the bottom.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if this drill is done correctly, you should be able to do this and barely hit the ball. See that? See how my stick is straight?
Yeah.
And all this is doing is just training your muscles to deliver the cue as straight as possible. Because that's what you want to do when you're delivering the ball. You want to be as straight as possible. You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So that's going to come with practice. So this is a good way to do it. The perfect beer bottles are perfect because they're about the same diameter as the ball, so the neck is like right at the contact. And all that was good. When I tell you to let the weight of the cue do the work, right? Just swing it and let the cue, feeling the weight of the cue. If I do that, the cue wants to stay straight, right? I'm not pushing it. If I'm pushing it, then there's a good chance it's going to swerve out. Think of it like a rear-wheel drive car. You press on the gas really hard, it starts to fishtail, right? It doesn't want to stay straight. That's kind of what you're doing by pushing the cue. Let the cue do all the work. Your hand is just guiding it. And you might give it a little more oomph, a little more delivery if you're trying to shoot the shot a little harder. But how are you feeling so far?
Oh, pretty good. I think it's the
Bridge?
the bridge
Mhm.
that I need to like practice, and also just like the stance. I think like getting behind the shot or in line with the shot,
Right.
and
If you can just get used to visualizing the line of aim. Now, remember, we're going to go over this here shortly. We're gonna kind of take a break in a minute. Just talk about everything we've gone over so far before we move forward. I want to make sure I don't move. But obviously, I'm not in line with the pocket. I'm in line with the shot. I want the cue ball to hit right there.
Yeah.
So this is the line of my aim. If I visualize that line of my aim, all I have to do is just step my foot right onto that line. Everything else should just, this foot's going to be over here somewhere. So, a little too close, so I bring my foot back. As long as my foot is somewhat in the line of the aim, and I can still see that line, I can drop into that line. Think of the line that you're going to shoot on as like a groove in the table, like this little V groove. Now you can imagine, let's say that the V groove was this line right here, right? I go to put my cue on it, and obviously I'm not in it. So how do I get into that groove? I try to move my cue over and try to move it, right? But it's really hard for me to get into that groove and let it just walk into that groove, right? Because I don't know, I can eventually get it there, but it takes some work. But if I come back here and I see that groove, and I can just put my cue on top of it, it's going to slot right into it. See that? That's what you're kind of picturing in your mind, is this groove, this line, right through the line of an aim. And you want to drop the cue right onto that. The way you do that is put your foot there, and you have the cue over your foot, right? Right on that line. So you're just dropping it down. So that part of it, gonna take some practice, gonna take some work.
So with that line, so this is the line that we want to hit so that it goes to this pocket.
Yes. This is kind of,
So it's almost like,
that
yeah,
is the contact point that's
Yeah.
gonna make it go in. Do you
Yeah.
understand the fact that
Mhm.
no matter where the cue ball is, could be over here, could be here, could be here, as long as you put it in this exact spot,
yeah,
that 6 is gonna go in, right? So this is called the ghost ball,
the ghost ball?
the ghost ball.
Okay.
Yes. You have to visualize it, but I've got one that's physical, which is nice. That orange dot
Mhm.
is the center of the ghost ball.
Okay.
That is your aim point.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you can visualize a ghost ball and see that point in your mind,
Yeah.
in the middle of that ghost ball, and our brains are capable of doing that. There's a ball right there. It's exactly the same size ball, but it's touching the contact point in line with the pocket. It's right behind it. I just have to put this ball in its spot. So if you want to get down and aim that right at the orange dot. Nice and easy, nice and soft. So you put a little bit of side spin on it, which means that you did this.
Oh, okay. Got it.
So another good way to practice, if you can get over to that pool hall, you don't even have to put balls on the table. Come over here. There's a line for you to actually see. The line right here,
Oh,
where the rubber meets the rail.
yeah.
Okay, that's the line you want to practice on. So all you're going to do, step aside, let me show you. You're going to visualize. You're going to be right on that line. Boom, right? You're going to put your foot down. You're going to come up. You're going to drop cue and your bridge right on that line. And you're going to take a few practice strokes and make sure that you're right on that line. See that?
Mm-hmm.
And then you're just going to get up and you're going to do it again.
Yeah.
And it's a really good way, even if you're just playing, if you're playing a game casually and you feel like you're having trouble or you're seeing that you're swerving your stick or trying to, that's called steering. What sometimes your subconscious is like, I don't think I'm going to make this, so
Yeah.
it tries to compensate, right?
Yeah.
That's why I ask your subconscious, does this feel like I'm going to make it? If so, just deliver a nice straight shot.
Mhm.
Don't let your subconscious say no and take the shot anyway, because then your subconscious is going to go, I said no, let's correct it, right?
Yeah.
And that's where you get those little swerves.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself doing those swerves, just get on the table, get behind this line, put your foot right on the line, drop onto the line. Try it, see how it feels.
Yeah.
I can see that you have a tendency when you're stroking to try to push out your arm
Yeah.
this way. And that's why the stick swerves to the left.
Yeah.
Yeah, you should just be nice, relaxed pendulum this way. Like you're doing the robot.
I think it's just practice.
Yeah, it's gonna take practice. Like I said, I know how it feels because if I do this with my left hand and try to practice, I do that too. I swerve and I have to like really focus because unfortunately I don't practice with my left hand. It feels weird.
You're right-handed.
I am right.
Do people do you ever play left-handed?
Let's say I'm on a 9-foot table
Oh, it's like kind of where you have
and
to.
I'm left with that, but I'm on a 9-foot table, so I'm way back here. It's kind of hard to reach that, right?
Yeah.
I can do the trick, behind my back, but then my head isn't down on the shot like I want to do.
Yeah.
So what I might do is I might just left-handed, I can get on the side of the table and shoot my shot. So yeah, that's something I should practice more. But there is a professional who actually switched.
Oh, really?
John Moore is his name.
Oh, wow.
And he switched to playing left-handed. He practiced and practiced and practiced, and now he plays professionally with his left.
Wow.
He breaks right-handed. He writes right-handed, but he taught himself to shoot his game left-handed, and he's a pro, and he's very, very good left-handed. Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Okay, so let's take a 5-minute break and kind of talk about all this stuff. You can put it right here. That's what this is for.
Oh.
So how do you feel so far?
Good. This is like really like useful,
Mm-hmm.
especially learning, just breaking it down. Especially like the stance. I did learn like the stance is very. I like play racket sports and tennis and everything, so it's kind of like the same where you want to be like, stable.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of similar, and also kind of like, finishing kind of like a swing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very similar, but definitely want to practice my bridge and just more stepping into the stance.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you're stepping into the shot. You're stance.
Stepping into
the terminology doesn't matter that much, but yes.
The shot. Yeah.
You're stepping. You're addressing the ball. You're stepping into the shot. It's just like golf, just like tennis.
Yeah.
With tennis, you want to be in a good stance. You want to be able to deliver. You want to lock your wrist. Everything's all locked, which is very different than racquetball. Where racquetball you use your wrist a lot, right?
Right. Yeah.
Two very similar sports, but very different.
Yeah.
Techniques, I guess. So yeah, and then there's the follow through, right? You're doing the same follow through, and a lot of times you just have the machine hitting balls at you just so you can practice.
Right.
Hitting it over the net and following through and all that. So that's really all you're doing go over to the pool hall, rent a table for an hour, and practice something very specific. Practice your aim, practice your bridge. If you get yourself a stick, which I recommend, if you get yourself a stick, you're going to be a lot more consistent because you're not relying on luck of the draw when you pull a stick off the wall. I don't know how well they maintain them at the place that that you're going to go to, but
probably not.
A lot of times the tips are really bad, and it's just because they're abused a lot. By amateurs going in there just banging balls around.
Right.
And they don't do enough maintenance on them.
Yeah.
So get your own stick. That way you're very consistent. I would recommend, like I said, getting a glove. I think that'll help because then you're not, if there's a little bit of humidity, the cue can kind of stick to your hand a little bit.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So you want to work on aim? We can talk about the aim.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So I did show you a little bit about that.
I guess my question is, because you could tell when I hit the ball, like not like when my stroke was off, right? And you can tell because of the ball spinning. So if my shot wasn't off, what would the ball look? Like how would the ball look?
The ball wouldn't be spinning at all.
Okay.
If you hit it dead center, especially if you do what's called a stop shot. So there's no draw, no follow, right? You just hit center ball, watch the cue ball. Doesn't do anything. Right?
Yeah.
If I have this lined up dead straight, if I hit center ball, it's going to go in dead straight.
Yeah.
I want to show you. So this is lined up exactly to go in the pocket. But if I swerve and hit the ball like this, see what happens to the ball? So your aim might not have been wrong, but you're going to miss because now you're aiming off to the side. Now there's a lot of advanced knowledge, which is kind of interesting. If I if I'm far enough back, I think it's right about there, and I do that, you notice the cue ball, even though it's spinning, didn't go off to the side. Don't worry about why that's happening, but it's a good thing to know that I can adjust like this and put spin on the ball. Didn't quite go, but it was a lot closer than when I do the same thing with a shorter bridge.
Yeah.
With a shorter bridge, my spin, my aim goes way off to the side, right? So that's why we want to be very careful. There is a great drill that you can do. This is good practice, even on a coin-op table somewhere.
Yeah.
Because you're not putting balls in the pocket. What you're gonna do, you're gonna put the ball. Well, actually, I usually do it from the other end, but you can do it here. Put the ball on the spot with the stripe straight up and down. You're going to aim at this diamond right here. Okay?
Yeah.
Down the shot. Make sure that it's in the groove of the aim line. Hit center ball. The ball should come back and hit your cue stick. If it's perfect, it'll come back and stop right on your cue stick. Yeah. And when you hit this, the ball won't wobble. If I get even the slightest bit off, let's say like right here, and one, it's going to wobble. Got a tiny bit of right hand side spin. And that right hand side spin, when he hits the rail, causes it to go off to the right. See that? And you saw I did not hit it that far off.
Yeah.
If a little tiny bit to the left, it's going to wobble. It's going to go off to the left a little bit. Ultimately, what I want to do, this is great training to make sure that your stroke is very straight. Hit right in the center of the ball, right along the aim line. You've got everything aimed correctly. I'm on the center of the ball, and my cue is covering that diamond on the right. See that? A couple practice strokes. Still wobbles a little bit. It's not an easy drill.
Yeah.
But if you get a tiny bit of wobble and it goes off to the right or left by one ball, you're doing pretty good, and most likely your stroke is probably very, very straight. You want to give it a try? All you're doing, aiming at this spot right here, this diamond. That's pretty good. One more thing that I'm going to, one more piece of advice I'm going to give you for the fundamentals. Breathe. Okay. And I'm serious. When you're down on your shot and you're ready to shoot, take a deep breath. And it'll help you relax a little bit just before you stroke. Yeah. Now you'll notice your cue is not over the diamond, so yeah, you want to make sure that you're aimed nice and straight. Relax, take a deep breath, and just let the cue follow through. Don't poke through it. That's what kind of makes it swerve off to the side. Yeah. And like I said, this is good practice. Feel the swing of your arm as you're shooting. And you want try it. The other thing you want to do is aim about a half tip higher than center. Okay. Okay. You get a little bit of follow right away. It'll help keep it straight.
That's hard.
Yeah, it is. But it's a really good one because it forces you to focus on more than one thing at a time. Not just your stance, but your stroke, your aim, everything all at once. Right? And it's good because it kind of helps blend all of the stuff together.
Yeah.
You can isolate things as you're practicing, practicing your bridge or you're practicing your stroke, with the bottle. Those are good things to kind of isolate one problem area that you're having.
Mm-hmm.
But a drill like this is really good for kind of meshing them all together, because this one is a precision drill that you have to have everything just right. All the pieces have to be put together just right to do that. You saw even I'm getting down and not hitting it perfect. So
yeah.
Don't feel bad if this one will scream out the stuff that you're doing wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Even if it's not that bad.
Okay.
So
Got it.
all right. So but yeah, let's talk about aim, but we're also going to talk about controlling your power. They kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Okay. So first of all, we talked about aim already, right? The ghost ball.
Yeah.
This is the first part of learning how to aim. This isn't incredibly accurate. There's still a little bit of luck involved. This is not a difficult shot. This one is. And here's the thing. If you aim this and you get it exactly right and hit that dot, then the 15 should go in the pocket, right? But how different is the dot there and there? It probably moved about a millimeter to the right, to your left, right?
Yeah.
But that's no longer lined up. So this is a game of precision,
Yeah.
right? And as a beginner, using the ghost ball, not only is it difficult seeing a ghost ball here, right? So I moved it to here, and you can see that that's not lined, so right here. Not only can you can at this point you can see this. If you were able to put this here and aim and have somebody move it at the last second, that'd be great, right? Now you have something concrete, but you don't. Now you have this. Now tell me where the orange dot is. You can't.
Yeah.
As much as you'd like to, it's about right there.
Yeah.
Right? But is it really? Yeah, that's pretty close. But I was off about a millimeter. Right here. So if you're off just in your judgment of where that orange dot is, you're going to miss the shot. This is a tough shot.
Mm-hmm.
So there are more advanced ways to learn how to aim. You can see up there, I've got them written down. The contact points, there's an overlap method, all of that. We're not going to get into that. You'll need a lot more precision with your aim and your stroke and all of that stuff before we actually get into that. The ghost ball method is really just to make you understand the physics of what has to happen. As long as you hit it in that point and the contact points, when you have a contact point, the centers of the ball aim at the pocket, then it's going to go in. So get as close as possible. And it's better, obviously you don't want to leave yourself this shot. What you want to do is leave yourself that shot, right? That's a little easier to figure out. Right. So, and if you can see this contact point here, and you can visualize this contact point, which is in the same direction. So this line, this contact point right here is what needs to touch this contact point here. If you can visualize those two and marry those two together, it's a more advanced way of doing it. We're not going to focus on that. We're going to talk about it. We're just going to talk about it. And like I said, you seem to understand that intuitively when you're shooting shots on the side there. If they were at a little bit of an angle, you were adjusting. So now you know why.
A lot of the computerized pool games where they do.
Exactly.
I played a lot of that.
Okay, so so
like the angles. And
so you
everything,
do understand the ghost ball then, because it taught you that just by seeing the line and seeing the little ghost ball and lining that up so they're straight and then shooting. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, but also just doing it, like putting it together and like standing in the line of the shot. Okay, it kind of makes sense now, like doing it.
Good.
Okay, so should I
Yeah, let's try a few shots. Just put it aside. Go ahead. You don't need to hit them any harder than you just did. You don't have to smash them, just a nice little tap. Picture the ghost ball. Hold up. So you're over on the side over there. Okay. You're lined up this way. Picture the line where the cue ball goes through the ghost ball.
Okay.
That's the line you need to be on, right? Your eyesight needs to be on that line. Your foot needs to step into that line, right? That line is everything. Okay, you're lined up straight at the 8-ball. Can you see that?
Yes.
This is where you need to contact the 8-ball to make it. See how you're not aimed at it? That's what you need to be. That's your aim line.
Yeah.
You need to visualize that line. There you go. That's an easy. Too easy. So visualize the ghost ball in your head. Come over here.
Yeah.
And get in the line of the shot. So over here. Where the 3-ball is going to go. The path the 3-ball is going to go into the pocket. Now, just so you know, we're shooting in a side pocket. We're shooting a pocket. This is not the pocket. The pocket is these 2 points. Notice that anything to the side of those is rail. There's a hole there, right? As long as it goes through that hole, it's going to go into the pocket, right? So this is your pocket.
Yeah.
You want to be aimed at the center of that. What's really cool about most pool tables is the front of right in between those 2 points.
Okay.
So your aim point is always this point right here. Not back here, not over here, right? Obviously, if the ball's here, aiming it here is going to go in, but look how it's going to go in. Right? If you're off by this much, it's not going to go in.
Mm-hmm.
But if you aim it right at the center, you can be off by almost a full ball, and it'll still go in. This is your aim point always. Center of the pocket. Center of the front of the pocket. Okay?
So then I should hit it right. I guess I can. I don't know.
Can you visualize this? This is what you should be visualizing.
Yeah.
Now can you see the aim?
Yeah.
Obviously,
it's like
you
in
can
the
see the line going into this pocket. Now you know where to hit the ball because you can see the ghost ball. Now you get in the line of the shot to put the cue ball right in the middle of that ghost ball. Every shot is like that. Doesn't matter if it's a cut like that. It's the same thing. If you can make it hit that exact point, the ball's going to go in. Now, you notice that go ahead, stay down. Your Q-tip is aimed at the side of this cue ball. You want to be aimed through the center of this, through the center of the ghost ball. Okay, that means you have to get up and adjust. Don't come down on this and realize, oh no, I'm off. So you move your stick, the tip. You don't want to do that. You want to be hitting the center of the ball. There. How's that feel? Is that it? Sorry. work on that bridge a little bit. Remember to kind of arch your fingers a little bit. And twist your hand to the side a little bit. Twist a little bit more this way. Right, like this. Yeah, so you can spread these fingers out. There you go. And make sure that you're making a V, so you want to drop your thumb down a little bit. Kind of poke it out.
Oh.
Yeah, so you're making a V. There you go. That's what you want. So, we'll talk a little bit more about the philosophy of pool. Whenever you're shooting, you're always going to give yourself some feedback. Okay? Before the shot, you're going to ask yourself, do I really feel like this is going to go in? If you don't feel that way, it's okay. You can get up, you can adjust, get down, ask yourself that again. Once you give yourself the green light, and you no longer have the red light, then go ahead and shoot the shot. Don't worry if you miss it. Because the next time you ask yourself, does it look like I'm going to make it? You're going to start giving yourself a higher and higher percentage correct response. Mm-hmm. Right now, your brain doesn't know. Right? But eventually you're going to be like, wait a minute, this didn't work before. You're not going to be consciously thinking that. Your subconscious is just naturally going to know. It's just like how when you're driving, your body automatically knows how to make the little tiny micro adjustments. You're not doing this, trying to adjust all the way down the road. Mm-hmm. When you play a video game, you are, because you're not used to the feedback of a video game. But when you're driving a car, your subconscious knows how to make the little tiny adjustments to keep you in the center of the lane. So that's what you're trying to do, is you're trying to train yourself. So ask yourself, and then kind of just do a reassessment of the shot a little bit, and don't hit sideways. If you're having to adjust to hit the side of the ball, get back up, line the centers of the ball to the ghost ball. Okay, so now ask yourself, does that feel like it's going to go in?
I think so.
It's a yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and take your shot. Well, you swerved a little bit. And this is going to happen in the beginning because throwing a lot of things at you, you have to adjust. You're still sitting in the car trying to figure out how to. The driving instructor is giving you a lot of information. So, okay, center of the ball. Remember, center of the ball. Spread your fingers a little bit too. Spread your fingers out a little bit. What you want to do is you want to get a little closer. Bend your elbow so you're a little more relaxed. All right, you can turn your hand and then tilt your hand, and then you can make that V. That's good. And then remember, as you're getting closer like that, to adjust your back arm so you're still straight up and down. Give yourself about half a second. Think about how that entire shot. Then when you go to shoot your next shot, your subconscious is getting more and more and more information to judge with. Okay. Now, when you are getting down for the next to do the shot again, don't think, what did I do wrong last time? Don't think that. Always put that out of your mind. Your subconscious already cataloged it. Don't worry about it. Just try to just do the right thing. Always move in a positive. Thing you have to remember about pool is it's a precision game. If you aim it from way back here, you aim it and you hit it here, it's going to go in the pocket. If you're off by this much, it's not going to go in the pocket, right? Yeah. So it is a precision game. You have to make sure that when you deliver, you're delivering it dead straight because you aimed it. Now you have to deliver it along that exact line, right? Let's try a little bit tougher. The same concept, okay? So picture that ghost ball. Get in the line, get in the line over there. Always in line from this point to the center of the ball that you're aiming, right? picture the ghost ball there. Now get over here, still picturing that ghost ball, and put the cue ball right in that position, in that ghost ball spot. Ask yourself, do I feel like this is going to go? Ooh, it's closer. You put a lot of spin on it. Your aim looked like it was good. Delivery.
Yeah, I think I hesitated.
Yeah. And that's the thing that you don't want to do is you don't want to second guess. If you are second guessing, it means the answer is no. You see a red light. Get up, relax, get on the shot. Keep doing that until you give yourself a yes. Feel confident and then deliver with that confidence. Think about that shot. Think about why it worked. Do it again. Relax, take a deep breath just before you shoot, and just let the cue do the delivery. Quite so tough. The bridge is looking good.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I think you're starting to get used to it.
Yeah.
Nice. It'll be hard to break some of the habits.
It will be hard.
It's just going to take some practice. As long as you keep everything in mind. Okay, I can see from here that's not going to. Let's try this. I want you to do is I want you, instead of picturing it goes, I want you to picture the content. So you need to get in line with this shot.
Yeah.
Picture the contact point right there. It goes right to the center. Okay? Just visualize that contact. We'll even cheat a little bit. The edge of that circle. So now, what I want you to do is come over here, line up your ball. I want you to think of a contact point on here that would be just the opposite. If this is going to hit here, this is the contact point, right? Right here. So you'll see that there's a little bit of an overlap.
Yeah.
There's an overlap between this half of the ball, this part of the ball, that's to the right of this ball. Same amount of overlap on this ball. So if this is about half an inch, you have about half an inch on this ball. overlap those two, line them up, and put them together. Oh. Are you seeing what I'm talking about? Okay, a little bit steeper angle. It's the same exact thing. Here's the cool thing. You can actually see the overlap. Don't worry about the ghost ball as far as the center of it goes. I want you to focus on that little overlap, a little football shape where the two balls are overlapping each other. Notice the contact point is in the center. Go stand over there. So you're shooting from there. Well, now there's a full overlap between the two balls. It's not a football anymore, it's actually a full round ball. Right? You go over that way just a little bit. Now, there's a lot of the balls that are overlapped, but not the entire one. Notice the contact point is right in the center. Now come way over here. That little overlap is very tiny, right? But the contact point is right in the center of that. Right? So that's really what you're trying to do, is you're trying to visualize the half of this ball and the half of this ball that's going to create that little overlap with the contact point right in the center. And you're just going to marry those two together. That's all you're doing. This is some more advanced aiming, but I think you understand it. I think it'll help you. How does that feel? Feel like you're going to make that? Yes. So, notice that you're lining yourself up. You're lining yourself way over here. Line yourself up to balls. Contact point to contact point. Line it up, and now ask yourself, do they overlap in the right way to hit that contact? You get the concept? Do you understand the concept? This is a thinner cut.
I'm gonna hit here.
You can see that contact point, right?
Yeah.
So you can see it's a pretty thin cut. You're almost aiming the edges at each other. That's a little thick.
Thick?
Thick means that you're going to hit it too thick this way. You want to hit it thinner. That's the contact between the two of them. The overlap is a thin overlap. Pretty close. Your back arm is back a little bit far. I think that's what's happening. What I'd like you to try, do me a favor, scoot your arm up maybe a little tiny bit more. I actually want you to be a little too far forward.
Okay.
Okay, rather than too far back. I think you'll find that your delivery will be a little straighter. I think you have a tendency to push on.
Yeah.
So you're kind of steering the cue into the shot.
Yeah, and I think that's where it's like.
Yeah, I think that's where some of your problem lies, in that you're kind of swerving all over. I think you should try choking up a little bit so that you're a little farther forward. You're not going to get as much follow through,
Yeah.
but as long as you follow through all the way and just stop when you can't go forward anymore, you'll be fine. Okay. Let's try a couple of shots, just a couple easy shots doing that. Let's focus only on your grip position. Go a little bit farther forward. you're shooting on your follow through, try and stop in the forward position. Don't pull back.
Okay.
Just go forward and just stay there.
Like that.
No. You don't need to shoot this hard. Okay? Just relax. Nice a medium stroke, but at the end of your stroke, just stop. The cue's going to go forward. It's probably going to end up here. Just leave it.
Oh, I pulled it.
Yeah. It's a natural reaction. It's okay. I want you to try to get used to just doing straight and stop. Stop. Okay? Remember to pull back slowly. Be conscious of what you're doing. Put your arm forward just a little bit. Remember, at the contact point. So you should be right here, holding it there. Make sure that your grip is in the right spot. It's good. So, take a couple practice strokes. Pull back slowly. And deliver and keep it straight. Keep it better. You have a tendency to bounce back a little bit, but that's okay.
I guess it's practicing just following through.
Yeah. Follow through allows you to have better timing on your shot. Timing means that when you're shooting, when you're all the way back, stick's not moving, right? You're accelerating through until you get to the end and then you're stopping. So you can think of that as a bell curve of speed, right? It stopped here, there's max speed in the middle, and then it slows down. At the point that you're up here, you want to be hitting the cue ball, right? If you pull back, what happens is you're subconsciously doing this and you're hitting your peak too early, right? And you're slowing. So what happens is the cue is slowing down as it's hitting the cue ball.
Oh.
So you don't have as much control over how much power you're hitting the cue ball. So it might be hard, it might be soft, but your cue is already slowing down by the time it hits the cue, and then you're pulling it back.
Got it.
Following through just helps force you to get used to delivering that same power. Doesn't matter if it's soft, you just want that maximum speed of the cue, whatever it is, if it's slow or fast, to be hitting the peak just as you're driving through the ball. And then only after that do you decelerate. And if you can follow through and stop without pulling back, you'll be more consistent. I've seen a lot of people who do the pullback a lot, and they're very successful players, but they don't have quite as much control of the cue ball. That was good, really good. Don't have to hit it that hard. But that was good. You stayed forward. That's good. Remember to chalk up. Try to get used to doing that. At least looking at the tip.
So this helps with the contact.
The chalk is it actually increases friction, so it gives it more of a grip.
Oh, okay.
So if you do hit off to the side or hit too low or something, you're not going to miss cue. Helps prevent miscues. Okay. So, take a deep breath. Slow down. Be easy. And just. Oh, how'd that feel?
Good.
Yeah. Okay. Feel like everything's together when you're doing it?
Yeah. Actually, I think you fixing this grip could help. Because I wasn't really sure.
You did pull back, yeah, but you're recognizing it, and that's good. This is one of those things, if you're just grab a bunch of balls and just do this shot, and just focus, don't focus on anything else, just focus on following through and stopping. Follow through, stop, follow through, stop.
Too hard.
All right, so I'm going to teach you a way to help you learn how to control your speed. So get down on the shot. All right, so what I want you to do is I want you to move your bridge closer to the cue ball. Now, you're going to have to get up and adjust. You can't just slide it forward. Your entire body has to be. Now, when you do that, because you slid this hand forward, your backhand has to slide forward too. The distance between your bridge and your grip should be the same all the time.
Okay.
right? So if you move your bridge hand closer to the tip, your backhand has to also come forward.
Yeah.
Right? Now you can see you're almost at the very, very front of that grip. Okay. So now you're going to take a few practice strokes, but you notice you're closer now, right? Same follow through, but don't have to hit it hard. Just let the cue do the work. You know how much softer that shot was?
Yeah.
Good. A couple more times. These are straight in shots, so I want you to focus dead straight on that 12. That cue ball should not move to the side once it's shot. So you can see right now, you're aimed here. See that? You want to be aimed right at the center. Look at that groove. Look at that line right between them. Get that cue right on that groove. There you go, nice and easy. That's beautiful. A little closer. Up. Get up, there you go. Adjust. Get nice and close to that ball. Make sure your grip is in the right spot. Nice and easy. You don't want to poke it, you just want to poke it. You just want to use that length that you have. So basically what you're doing, here's what's happening. If you do the same stroke every single time, and I can teach you a way to do that, your cadence, okay? So I want you to get used to taking a practice stroke. Practice 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Okay? So when you do that, I'm going to show you two different shots. Close. See how close I am? In fact, using the closed bridge, I can only go so far. See that? But if I use the same cadence, how far is my cue moving? Right? How fast is it moving? 1, 2, 3, and then follow through. Right? Same exact speed that I'm doing the practice strokes. I'm just going to let it go, continue and go through the ball.
Yeah.
I'll hit a little bit low so that I don't follow it. 1, 2. See how soft that was? Same exact cadence. There's nothing different about this shot except my bridge length. And when I say bridge length, I'm actually using the full length of my bridge. Going all the way back to my bridge, all the way to the ball. Okay? A little longer. 1, 2, 3. That was a lot crisper. There are going to be times when I need to do a shot like this. I don't want to follow it in. I don't want to hit it too hard. I don't want anything to happen. So I want it to be a nice soft shot. Or maybe it's a long shot like this, but I want it to creep up, hit the 7, and just stop. Right? So I'm going to be nice and close. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Same cadence. I want this one. I have an angle of this thing. I can't cheat, right? I can't make the cue ball go this way because 13 has to go in this way. The cue ball wants to go in this direction. Right? But I have to get position on this ball here. So I have to hit it harder. So I'm going to use a lot longer bridge. I'm going to do low right. I'm going to use the same cadence. 1, 2, 3. Too much. See that even though my cadence hasn't switched, it hasn't changed, I can now, because I'm going a longer distance with the same amount of time, I'm going to be hitting it harder, right? 1, 2, 3. So I can do two different shots, super hard shot and super soft shot, same cadence on each one. It's just the bridge length. Now, I don't actually use short bridges.
So,
If I need to make this slowly, what I'll do is I'll just do this. 1, 2, 3. I don't need to go the bridge, I just know a short stroke. At the same cadence. That make sense?
yeah. So do you keep your bridge pretty much the same? I guess you don't keep it short, right? Or
Yeah, I keep my bridge the same length all the time for all shots.
okay.
The reason I'm showing you the shorter bridge is so that you're not taking the full length of the stroke. You're forcing yourself to take a shorter stroke.
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right, let's try a couple more. So, I want you to do a nice soft. Everything else the same. It was very soft compared to the earlier shots. Remember though, that when you're getting on the line of the shot, you should be naturally getting on the line of the aim. You shouldn't be adjusting anything once you're down. Okay? If you're having to do that, get back up. Now you'll notice that on that shot, you did this. 2, 3, and then you came back
Oh,
and shot through.
yeah.
Try to be consistent. 1, 2, 3, shoot. Same stroke. And on this is nice. This is super easy, super soft. The force should barely trickle in. You're not lined up. And so you're coming off from the side. There, that's the reason why you're not getting lined up on the shot. There you go. Always come in right from the line. That's perfect. So super soft. Small stroke. Smaller than that. Let's get this bridge really close, like 2 inches away. 2 inches away. Come on, get close. There you go. About 5 or 6 inches. So it looks like you have a tendency in most of your straight shots to steer it a little bit to the
Yeah.
left. So your shots are going a little bit to the right, and the cue ball is going
Yeah.
to the left. If you're one way to practice how straight you are is to hit it a little bit high and follow the ball, like you have been. Follow the ball. The cue ball. This should go in the center, and the cue ball should follow it right. How do you feel? Compared to when we first started?
Yeah, I'm getting used to this, getting used to stepping into the line of the shot.
You have a tendency, and I'm not sure what it is, but you have a tendency to kind of be over here and step into the shot that way.
Yeah,
Which you
I
really
think
need to
it's
focus on.
it's probably just like habit of
Yeah.
like not under like it is. I do have to like be mindful of like, oh, this is my line of shot.
Right. And you don't want to come into that from the side.
Yeah.
You want to be right on the line. Now, this right here, the line of the aim and the line of the shot are the same. When I say the line of the shot, I'm talking about the path that this ball is going to take into the block.
Yeah.
So the line of the shot is here.
Yeah.
The line of your aim is here.
Yeah.
Right? These two, they coincide with each other.
Yeah.
So you just get behind the shot, get in the line, shoot the shot.
Yeah. It's
Here.
slipping into the line of the.
Mhm. So yeah, you want to be, ultimately, you're looking to see what the two lines are.
Yeah.
But when you're getting down, you're coming down on the line of aim.
Yeah.
Right? So this is your line of aim. Your eyeballs should be right on that line.
Mm-hmm.
Your right foot should step onto that line.
Yeah.
Right? Your cue should come down. Your cue should be overlapping that line up here and coming straight down on that line.
Yeah.
To shoot it. You come over from over here, there's no guarantee that your right foot is going to be on that line, and then you're coming into the shot, and then you're kind of adjusting, and you're adjusting the halo on the side of the ball.
Yeah.
You don't want that. Okay. So what I would focus on if I were you for right now, your bridge, practice your bridge, and practice getting into the line of the shot. Practice coming from standing behind it. So come over here, right on this line, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just practice coming down on the line. If you practice, don't adjust anything.
Mm-hmm.
What I want you to do is stand up, put your right foot on that line, get the cue ready to come down on it, come down on it, and stop. Okay, and when you come down, I want you actually to be on the line. So come forward, like your bridge is going to be up here. Okay, so go ahead and come down on it and stop. And what you need to look at is you need to look to see, are you right on the line here? And you're off by a half tip. It's not too bad, but you're still off.
Mm-hmm.
And this is off to the left a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what you're going to be practicing. You're not practicing. You can also practice your stroke and trying to stay on that line. But those are two different things.
Yeah.
Okay. Practice and on the line and coming down on it. Your tip should be right on the line. Your bridge should be right on the line. Your cue back here, all of it should be splitting that line just like that. Okay. It's not going to be easy, but it's going to get you to the point where you're okay. When I can see the line, I can do it. The next step after that is to just line up some balls. Now you can't see the line. You have to visualize it. But visualize just coming down. And the tip should be right on the ball, right? You should be aimed right at the center of that ball, and you should be aimed at the center of the other ball. If this ball wasn't here, you should be aimed at the center of that ball, right? That's how you know you're on the line. You can do it by putting this one on the diamond, putting this one on the diamond, right? Like that. And then come down on the line, and you should be right over the top of the diamond. And that's a good way just to practice coming down on the line. That should be when you're isolating your skills and trying to focus. That should be the one thing that you're trying to do. And then when you're feeling comfortable with that, second part of your practice is to stroke, and the tip should stay right on that line. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do this. Okay, straight on that line. Using a bottle is a good way to get immediate feedback. When you hit that bottle, it's going to frustrate you to the point where it's going to force you to really keep it straight. And all you're doing there is just teaching muscle memory. Yeah. Right? To the point where it just feels natural doing that. And that's the only, and you'll be able to feel it if you're off, and you'll be able to get up, straighten up, and then you know if you want to just practice with balls, the other way to do is line up a bunch of balls, get behind, drop on the line, practice your strokes. Keep doing that. Feeling when it goes funk into the pocket, the ball. That gives you a little bit of positive feedback. Okay? All right. So you had mentioned before that you had possibly wanted to to get together next week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You, let's think about that. We have you penciled in,
Oh,
so,
yeah.
so,
I'm okay with skipping like next week. I just was on your website and I
Yeah.
was like, oh, I saw something. So yeah, it was just like a little trigger.
I don't have a problem with doing, 2 weeks of practice one after another, but, I don't wanna overwhelm you with too much stuff.
Yeah.
I'd like to be able to, now that I've shown you this stuff, I'd like you to practice it, and I'd like to be able to move on.
Yeah.
We've done a little bit of aim, we can work on aim a little bit more next time, we can even talk about position.
Mhm.
The speed that I was just showing you.
Yeah.
Lighter shots, heavier shots,
Mhm.
that starts to get into position. See, we talk about touch and feel,
Okay.
that's really where you're practicing hitting the ball softly, hitting the ball a little harder.
Yeah.
I do have a booklet. I give this to all my students. This right here doesn't cover anything that we've covered yet. This isn't about fundamentals. This is more about practicing things like draw shots, follow shots. There's some aim shots, but I'll give it to you now. But maybe next time when we start getting into actually trying different shots, we talk about position of the cue ball, things like that. Then we'll start using that, and I'll show you how to. That's a really good way to practice. It's more focused practice.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. No, this has been super helpful. I definitely want to like start practicing because it's like really fun.
Yeah. Good. I'm glad you talk about how you want to start this as a new hobby for you.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. I mean, it's something. I think the barrier to entry is a little easier than golf.
Yes.
And it's just fun. Yeah. So, also other things that I would want to work on like in the future would be like, I don't know, tips on like breaking, just because like as a woman, I think it's just a little harder.
Yes and no. Breaking is more about technique than power.
Okay.
There are ways to add power that don't require muscle, don't require, but yeah, we can definitely cover that. It's really important that you get these fundamentals down to the point where they feel natural to you.
Yeah.
The break is going to highlight those things. They're going to scream at you. You don't have your aim down right, or your stroke. You're not stroking straight through the ball.
Yeah.
Then that drill that I showed you, where you hit the ball up and down, start that nice and easy. Just focus on everything. But as it starts to get easier, try harder and harder shots, because that's going to lead into breaking. Right? You need to be able to do a power and still be able to hit straight like that.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to miscue. If you're accidentally miscuing or steering the ball during your stroke now, during the break, you're going to miss the cue.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's really difficult. So,
yeah, for sure.
And you'll need to know how to do a closed bridge for that as well.
Oh, I have Cash App.
Okay.
So I can
Yeah, that'll work. Trying to remember what my cash handle is.
Oh, I think I could scan it if you have like your code.
Oh yeah.
Do you get a lot of like students that come through?
I'm starting to get more now. There's league operators that run the Diablo Valley Pool League. They're friends of ours, and I played for her team for a while, and she started sending more people my way. So, I'm starting to get more. During COVID, I didn't take any. I didn't actually play for like 2.5 years.
Oh wow!
I just
During
stopped.
COVID?
Yeah.
Oh.
We didn't really want to go out in public very much,
Yeah.
and I certainly didn't want to go to the pool hall, mingle with a bunch of
Yeah.
other people, and all of
That
that.
makes sense.
So I forget where that. Here.
Oh, I think so if you're on this, I think if you go here, you can show your code.
Where is it?
Yeah,
Here?
right there.
And there.
Yeah.
And
You said it's 60, right?
yeah. So I do 60 for the first lesson, because a lot of it is just us sitting and talking like we're doing now. After that, it's $40 an hour. You can do 1 hour sessions. I would probably recommend doing 1 hour in the future. If you ever come, I only do one lesson a night, and I have 2 hours booked every,
Yeah.
available, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and also on the weekends. So, perfect. So if you get here, and you booked 6 to 7, and we don't have anything else planned for the night, and you decide you want to stay for an extra hour, that's fine. But from now on, it's just $40 an hour.
Okay, sounds good. Also, can I use the restroom?
Yeah, absolutely. Show you where it is. Can you go by Josephine or Josie?
You can call me Josie.
Josie. Hello, this is Josie.
Hi. How do you do? Hi. Oh, yeah, right here.
There's a pocket baby.
It's set up right here. I'm struggling a little bit.
Something she's not going to do it, but I'll confirm. Yeah. Good cash out.
Oh,
Yeah, I just brought up my scan code and she scanned it. Really well. When she first started, her